Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nick Silviano, aka Saint Illuminated, aka Gamer Nick, aka Civil Ornato, aka the Dead End Messiah, and now this is Fighting Game Fridays. Hello, welcome to the first episode of Fighting Game Fridays. I am Nick Silviano, and let's get this started, right? Alright, here we go. Street Fighter 3, New Generation. Only came out in arcades and Dreamcast. As far as I know, you can probably get an emulator somewhere. I'm pretty sure you can, but anyway. So yeah, here we are. First game in the new series, Street Fighter 3. Started with New Generation. Pretty much came out with a bunch of new characters, except for Ken and Ryu make their return. Originally, these two were not supposed to be in the game at all, but I guess they just Capcom wanted to put some familiarity in there, or whatever. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this one started. So as you can see, game has a completely different look from Street Fighter 2. You got some hand-drawn backgrounds, a little bit more comical, a little bit more hand-drawn characters too. Alright, let's see. So let's start out with some basic facts here on this one. Released in February 1997, the original Street Fighter 3 features 10 unique selectable characters, not counting Yun and Yang separately. So technically this game would have 11 because Yun and Yang are two different characters, and when you get depends on the button you push. You push the punch button, you get Yun. Push the kick buttons, you get Yang. A non-selectable computer-controlled character, the game's final opponent. In single-player mode, the player will face computer-controlled opponents, including Guild. He's the final boss of this game. The gameplay of Street Fighter 3 has several new abilities, and features introduced. Players can now dash or retreat like in Darkstalkers, as well as perform high jumps and do a quick standing after falling from an attack. The game also includes leap attacks, for small jumping attacks used against crouching opponents. As well, the player cannot block in the air, like in Street Fighter Alpha series, so they took out air blocking. It's probably a good and a bad thing. Oh, Ken, you kind of messed that up. Said, what a reckless man you are. That was Ibuki, one of the new characters Street Fighter 3, Ninja Girl. And this is Sean, who is supposed to be one of Ken's students. According to the laws of Ensetsuken, or however you say their name, however you say the martial arts name, it is customary for a teacher to take on two students when teaching the ability. I read that somewhere. In Ken's case, he took on both Sean and his son Mel, who makes kind of a couple of appearances in throughout the Street Fighter 3 series. So yeah, Sean tracked down Ken and wanted to learn his arts, and like Ken, put his own spin on the practice. So that's pretty much what's going on here. By the way, I'm just gonna let you know now. To be honest with you on this, I edited the shit out of these, edited the shit out of this video, and I will probably do so in future videos. Only like really edited matches that I left out, that I lost completely. Like if I lose a round here and there, I keep the whole match in because it's whatever. It's just showing in there. If I lose completely and have to do continue, I pretty much edit out a bunch of that. Part of me thinks I maybe should have kept the footage around this way. Like I can show all the all the bullshit things that happen throughout the game, because the computer itself can get pretty cheap. So when I dived into this, I didn't even bother to adjust the difficulty or anything like that. I left it as is, so it's probably on whatever normal difficulty is, 3 or 4 stars. It's usually how Street Fighter measures their difficulty. So yeah, basically, and you get super arts coming back. Let's see. I think I pretty much covered all that. Oh yeah, the main new feature ability is the parry opponent's attack. Parrying, blocking in the Japanese version. Oh, that's called blocking there. His ability to deflect incoming attacks without receiving damage. So basically, it was a new. You push forward or down at the right time, and you can parry an attack. It's kind of block, you don't do damage, and you can parry just about every move, and in multiple times. So you can sit there and parry a lot, not receive any damage, and do a very decisive counterattack. We all know the famous move from famous video from one of the Evo tournaments where I forgot who was playing. So yeah, sue me, I don't know who's playing. Where the guy is playing his Ken and he parries all of Chun-Li's attacks when she does a super, and we all know what happened there. This is introducing Alex. He is the main character in the Street Fighter 3 series. He's the guy who's depicted as winning it all. He's got it out for Gil. He's pretty pissed at him. Gil being the final boss, because Gil beat the crap out of his friend, who looks like Jean Reno, by the way. Anybody knows who the hell Jean Reno is, or Jean Reno, however you want to say it. French actor. And Gil wants revenge, even though John, whatever, said, no, it was a fair fight. He won fair and square. But, he's out for revenge and wants to test his mettle in the new Street Fighter tournament. And later on, meet Ryu for a rematch. I think he faces Ryu at one point, but loses. I think it's out of tournament, though, because according to whatever the canon for Street Fighter is, Ryu does not win this tournament. And apparently he didn't win the second one either. He may or may not lost to Ken. New character, Oro. Oh my god, this guy's a pain in the ass. Fighter, he's like 200 years old and fights with one arm. His fighting power is so great that he has to actually fight one arm to give his opponents an advantage. So, yeah, I kind of lost a couple of times, once trying to fight this guy. But yeah, you gotta get the patterns down or something like that. They don't really have patterns. Sometimes they just bitch around and jump around all the time. It's really kind of annoying, because like I said, the computer get kind of cheap, and like it's almost at some points like playing a human opponent, because they do that thing where they like walk back and forth. When you're knocked down, they do that little dance, the okie dokie shuffle, whatever it's called. I call it the pee-pee dance because it looks like they have to take a piss. Because they're walking back and forth waiting for you to get up so you can unleash a new move. Waiting for you to do something so you can either block, or if you get out of the way, they do whatever. As you see in this little match right here, I quite handedly get my ass handed to me. I mean, this guy pretty much just beats me the fuck down. Jumps around a lot like a little bitch. Much like online opponents, but whatever. So, yeah, whatever. Oro, 200-year-old shaman expert guy. According to the story, he's the one that beats Ryu and knocks him out of the tournament. And actually trains Ryu for a while, so. Well, basic standard fare, 3 rounds. Well, normally. So, whatever. Okay, what else? Yeah, I'm getting my ass beaten this one. I just, couldn't keep it. This guy jumps around a lot. Stop jumping around, you a-hole. I didn't mean to do that super either. I was kind of messed up on that one. And this guy is about to get a perfect on me. Or is he? Yeah, I actually be able to pull off a bit of a comeback here. He almost got me. I was almost right there, and then he slipped up, or I got the computer, whatever. And bam, end that shit with a super. Wasn't a cheap one either. Let's see. At the exact moment an opponent attack hits, I'm talking about parry now. An opponent's attack is about to hit his or her character. The player can move the controller toward down to parry the attack without receiving damage, leaving the opponent vulnerable for a counterattack. I covered that part. Additionally, this also allows players to defend against special moves and even super arts without sustaining the normal minor damage that blocking normally would incur. However, parrying requires precise timing. No shit. Matter of fact, I think all the times I parried while doing these games, like while fighting in here, you'll see me do it a couple times. It was completely by accident. I was trying to do something else and I just happened to get the parry off. So here we go with Elena, some kind of African princess. I actually like this stage. What I liked about the Street Fighter 3, at least the first two, is the multi-tier stages. Like between rounds, it would change. It's basically I feel this is trying to be more like a there accidental parry. Believe me, I did not mean to do that. This plays more like a. I think I'm trying to play more like an SNK game at the time. I think SNK was starting to come up. The King of Fighters series and stuff like that. And I think they're trying to emulate that with these games. So you can see the multi-layer stages. The way the announcer sounded a lot like they usually do in Final Fight, especially in Garo, Mark of the Wolves, or Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves. Whatever one you want to call it. But Elena, throughout the whole series, in Street Fighter 3, I think was just a completely cheap bitch. Especially in a Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Usually when I've given the chance, I avoid fighting her because all she does really is throw me. Like, what a bitch. I'm not even near enough somehow to get thrown off. Stupid game. Ignoring its own laws of physics. And I swear, a playing computer does it a lot. But whatever, so finally finished her off. That was like the second time I tried that, so see how that goes. Let's see, alright, a little more Street Fighter 3 history. Other new features include Street Fighter 3's inclusion of Super Arts. Super Arts were actually invented, well, not invented, but they're put in Super Street Fighter 2, Turbo, and carried on from there. Oh, look, it's Ryu. Cheap bastard. And believe me, I did not like fighting this guy. I thought this was a pretty cheap fight. I think Ryu, when you fight him, when the computer's controlling him, is a really cheap bastard. I mean, seriously. Most of the time, the guy just stands there waiting for me to move. He does like the turtle tactic that a lot of people use, like actual real people use. So, turtling was not invented by human beings, ladies and gentlemen. It was invented by the computer. So a lot of times they're standing there and want me to make a move, or they interrupt me, and like that. This is a pretty tough fight. It took me a few tries to go ahead and get this one down, and even then I barely made it. Anyway, you can choose between one of 3 super arts before each fight, and anything like that. Player will be prompted to select from 3 character-specific super arts, which I mentioned, like the super combo gauge in previous games. The player has super art gauge, which fill up as the player performs regular moves and special moves against the opponent. I think we can take damage too. The player can only perform a super art once the gauge is full. Depending on the super art chosen by the player, the length of the super art gauge will vary. As the amount of filled super art gauge the player can stock up. So that's pretty much all I copied and pasted from Wikipedia. So take that as it was. The game came out, like I said, earlier in 1997. With the joke, Capcom finally learned how to count to 3, since there were like 10,000 iterations of Street Fighter 2, both by Capcom and by hackers. So, and I was finally able to take Ryu out with a nice little Shinryuken, which for some reason can go up to level. You can do up to 2 levels, but whatever. So you get the little victory pose at the end where the character's standing up over the character. There was like when you beat Elena, she was sitting there in like a certain pose. I kind of avoided the joke on that one because you could see where that was going. And then finally the boss of the Street Fighter 3 series, Gil, who basically was trying to be part of the... I think Capcom was trying to go for the SNK boss syndrome on this one, because this guy is just an asshole. I mean, seriously. Try beating this guy. Well, first Street Fighter 3 game I played, well, not the first one. I played on... Got Street Fighter Third Strike. I spent like 2 hours trying to beat this guy. It was a pain in my ass. Took me a good 15 to 20 minutes to finally beat this guy too. So Gil is apparently, the big boss of the game. He's like the emperor or the king of some of the group called Illuminati. And basically, I honestly think that this character was Capcom or Japan's stab at Jesus, because he makes a lot of references, especially in Third Strike, to being kind of like him. And I'll get more to that as I continue on with the series. So yeah, there you go. Gil, whose normal attacks also do block damage. So we get him and I still get damaged. He pretty much is able to counter almost everything. That thing when he does the foot, oh, that pisses me off so much, where he brings it down like that. You see that? He does that hook foot, brings it down. I swear, every time he goes to do that, like, it causes a miss. Luckily, I happened to finally beat him after, like, so many tries. Alright, so basically that's it for Street Fighter 3, the new generation. A pretty short game when you think about it. I mean, are you really playing this game for the fighting, for the story mode? No. But this is all we had back then, folks. This is for Dreamcast. It only came out for Dreamcast. No iterations so far that I know of, other than emulator and arcade. Oh, and here's the end of Street Fighter 3. Third Strike, and one of the endings where we're introduced to Mel. So obviously this takes place a couple years after Street Fighter 2. Mel's about 5 or 6, I'd say. And he just punches dad in the nuts, so there you go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That is Street Fighter 3 New Generation. And this has been another episode of, well, the first episode of Fighting Game Fridays. And we'll see where it goes from here. And I will see you next time. I messed up putting my initials. I was trying to do certain ones, but I messed up when really paying attention, so I just finished off as MLL. So, whatever. Alright, see you later.